Hi, I'm Sam here at Blue Highway Games in Seattle.
And I'm Dylan. And this video is a Planeswalker's primer for animated lands.
And that's all we're going to talk about today. Just that. And not about how some people like to eat bugs.
Dude, there are hundreds of edible bugs. It's really healthy. Millions of people are into it.
No. But look, speaking of millions, let's talk about the millions of Magic fans who want to find out about animated lands. In the Worldwake set, your lands have a nasty habit of coming to life as creatures and attacking.
And we're going to look at a few of the ways you can turn your lands into creatures and smash your opponents with them.
This is Celestial Colonnade. Informally, it's called a dual land since it can be tapped for 2 different colors of mana. It's also informally called a manland since it has an ability that lets it turn into a creature.
No way, it's a dual manland? Man.
It is indeed, and nothing quite like this has ever been printed before, and there are 5 of them in the Worldwake set. Right now, Celestial Colonnade is just a land. I can tap it for a white mana or a blue mana, but when I activate its animation ability, it becomes a 4/4 creature with flying and vigilance for the rest of the turn.
And it's still a land, because the ability says so. At the moment, it's both a land and a creature, in the way that an artifact creature is both an artifact and a creature.
That's right. So, I can enchant it with Fertile Ground because it's a land, and I can enchant it with Holy Strength because it's a creature. And for the rest of the turn, it's white and blue because its ability says so. Now remember, it wasn't any color before. Lands are colorless unless a spell or ability says otherwise.
The ability also says it's an elemental, so now it has a creature type. It still doesn't have a land type, though. And now, Sam will attack.
That I will. I'll attack you with the Celestial Colonnade, and it doesn't even tap because it has vigilance.
And I can't block it because it has flying. Flying. Like the tasty cricket.
It is so weird. Now, after combat, I can still tap Celestial Colonnade for mana. Since it's enchanted with Fertile Ground, I'll get a total of 2 mana out of it, which is enough to cast Celestial Purge and exile the Minotaur.
Poof.
And that's enough for 1 turn. During the last step, Celestial Colonnade's ability wears off, and it goes back to being just a land. So, since it's no longer a creature, Holy Strength goes to my graveyard. Another way to turn your lands into creatures in the Worldwake set is with Zendikons. Zendikons are auras that turn the lands they enchant into creatures. There are 5 of them in the Worldwake set, 1 per color. Crusher Zendikon turns the land it enchants into a 4/2 red creature with trample. It's pretty similar to the way the dual man land works. The enchanted land is both a creature and a land. It can still tap for mana, or it can attack. The Zendikon gives it a color, and it gives it a creature type.
But there are differences too. As we saw, Celestial Colonnade's animation effect lasts only until the end of the turn, but a Zendikon's animation effect lasts indefinitely. The Zendikons also have a cool bonus.
I've got a swamp enchanted with Crusher Zendikon. It clearly wants to crush you, so I'll attack with it.
I'll block with Roomclaw Bear.
Well, my animated swamp has trample, so I'll assign 2 damage to the bear and 2 damage to you.
Okay, but my bear deals 2 damage to your swamp. It's dead.
Right. The swamp goes to my graveyard, and the Zendikon does too. But the Zendikon has another ability on it. When the land it's enchanting is put into a graveyard, that land card is returned to its owner's hand.
Sam lost the Zendikon, but he got the land back. What happens if I destroy the Zendikon and the land it's enchanting at the same time? Say with a Chroma's Vengeance.
Oh, the same thing. The Zendikon's ability triggers, and then the land comes back to its owner's hand.
But if I destroyed a land enchanted with the Zendikon, then used a card like Cremate to exile the land card from Sam's graveyard before the Zendikon's ability could return it, then it won't come back. The Zendikon's ability can return it only if it remains in the graveyard. Let's look at a couple of other interesting Zendikon examples.
I'll play a mountain. Then I'll enchant it with Crusher Zendikon to turn it into a creature. Then Dylan will eat a bug.
Seriously, though. Check out my Soul Warden. It says that whenever another creature enters the battlefield, I gain 1 life. So, do I gain a life for the Sam's animated land? No. When Sam's mountain entered the battlefield, it wasn't a creature. It was just a land. It changed forms to become a creature, but it was already on the battlefield when it did that. So now, will Sam attack me with his mountain?
Well, I can't. It has Summoning Sickness. I can't even tap it for mana now. Ordinarily, Summoning Sickness was only for creatures, not for lands. But this mountain is a creature now, so Summoning Sickness applies. Until I start my turn with this creature under my control, it can't attack and I can't tap it to activate its abilities. I should have enchanted one of these mountains instead since they were already here.
And it's an easy mistake to avoid. You just have to pay attention.
Yeah, well, one last thing. I'm also going to enchant this mountain with Corrupted Zendikon. The newer Zendikon overwrites the power, toughness, and color granted by the old one, but it doesn't overwrite the creature types or the abilities. Instead, it adds any new creature types and abilities to the ones the land already has. This mountain is now a 3/3 black elemental ooze creature with trample that's still a land.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
The upshot is that the Worldwake set has lots of ways to bring your lands to life so they can attack and block. More than ever before. We didn't even go over all of them.
Hey, I say the more they can attack, the better.
And I say, till next time. You know, mealworms are an excellent form of niacin.